Right, it says it's connecting, so.
I know.
Okay, there we
It takes me a while to do those little technical things, like trying to get into the.
Trina, I can't
Yeah.
do it. This is the first time.
For me, technical is dialing the phone.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
No, Caroline.
We are live, ladies and gentlemen. So let me just start by saying welcome and in making some quick introductions, and we'll get into some chat. So hopefully, as everybody's seeing it, we've got Joe Darlington from Being James Bond.
Hey guys, how are you?
Hi.
And we've got
Hi.
Tom Sears and John Williams from James Bond Radio.
Hello.
Hello.
What's up?
Hi.
Most importantly, we are joined by three amazing legendary Bond girls from the series. We've got Caroline Munro from The Spy Who Loved Me, and we have Trina Parks from Diamonds Are Forever.
Yay!
Very kindly, unfortunately, Madeline Smith had to drop out last minute as she had some other issues to deal with. She's very apologetic. She sends her love, but Lana Wood from the Diamonds Are Forever has very kindly stepped in at very short notice to join us. Hi, Lana.
Hi. Good to be here.
Yes, glad you could be.
So what I thought we'd do, I thought we'd just go around the three of you and do a quick intro. No one, let's face it, anyone watching is going to know exactly who you are and what film you're in, but maybe I thought you could maybe just give us a little intro into how you got into the film, and then we'll ask you a couple of questions, and then we'll open it up to anybody watching if they want to put their questions in the chat, wherever you're watching, on the JBR or the Cue the Music page or the Being James Bond YouTube page. So let's start with you, Caroline. How did you get involved in The Spy Who Loved Me?
Oh my goodness. Well, it's nice to see everybody first and hear lovely. So that's great. How did I get into it? I'd been acting quite a few years before that. In fact, many years before that. And it was really through Cubby Broccoli. He'd seen a poster I had done in England, a big billboard, as they say in America. And he'd asked me to, he'd seen the poster, he'd asked me to go along for an interview, and that's what I did, mentioned what it was, and I thought, oh, okay, that's very nice, I liked him very much, went home, and I had a call actually the next day, and I was offered the part of Naomi pretty quickly, which was amazing. I was amazed. Slightly nervous, I must say, but very amazed. So I got to play Naomi in The Spy Who Loved Me, which was an amazing little part, small part, but I enjoyed it.
And a damn good job of it you did too.
Yes.
You do.
I've definitely got some stories to hear from you later, Caroline. I know one that I've been lucky enough to hear about probably about 20 times now, but I never get bored of hearing it. So I'm really looking forward to you sharing your fantastic filming story in a minute. Trina, what about you?
Oh, about me. Do I see myself, or am I just seeing myself on the corner?
We can see you. So we're just wondering how you got involved in Diamonds Are Forever.
Oh, okay. I just want to make sure, because this is the first time. I thought the other time we did it, I could see myself. So I'm just wondering if you could see me.
We can see you. We can see you lovely and clearly. You look beautiful, by the way.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Okay. I had just come into New York from doing being on Broadway and doing dance concert work, and I was doing my show at the Ye Little Club in Beverly Hills, and so several agents were there. Long story short, I guess I signed with APA, Agency for the Performing Arts, and actually, what happened? They called me, and they do. Then they actually called you on the phone, no emails, no text. That time, and so asked me if I would like to go up for this role as Thumper in this movie that Sean Connery was in. I had no idea who Sean Connery was, But I said, yeah, okay. Of course, I didn't, they told me about the role. It was, great role, as a bodyguard, villain type of role. And I would need to dance. They wanted a dancer, but also someone that did karate. So I did, of course, they knew I danced, but my agent didn't know I knew karate, which I learned from being in Catherine Dunham's company. She taught the Haitian karate. So I was set up for an interview in Beverly Hills about, I guess, that week maybe. And I met with Sir Broccoli and Sir Hamilton. Everybody was there, about 6 people or so were there, and I was interviewed by them. Then they asked me to come back for the screen test, which I had to say, a few lines. Sir Sean was not there; it was someone else that read the other lines. And then they asked me to come to do some movement. So when I came back, I just did everything. I did twists and turns and leaps and falls and whatever. I just danced. So I got a call from my agent a couple of days later and said that they would like you to come for the, for the role of Thumper in the movie Diamonds Are Forever. I'd never seen a Bond movie ever. This is the first time I saw one was mine. So that's that's how I got the role.
Amazing. And same film, Lana, what about yourself?
I had been acting since I was a child, since I was 8 years old, and so I was friends with and knew a lot of people and had done a lot of television and things. And I got a call from a friend of mine by the name of Tom Mankiewicz, and Tom said that he had just finished the script for Diamonds Are Forever, and that he thought I was absolutely perfect for the role, and that Cubby Broccoli wanted to meet me, and could I please look tall? And I said, "You got to be kidding!" So I'm 5'2.5". So I went out and bought what would then called hot pants, so that I looked leggier, and really high strappy boots, and went in to the studio, met with Tom and Cubby, had a terrific, we just chatted about things, and I left, and a short time later, there again, I got a call saying they absolutely, adore me. They want me to be a part of this. But they ran into a snag, and they have to use someone else for the main role. And would I consider playing the smaller role of Punky O'Toole, because they'd really like me to be a part of it? And I said, "Are you kidding? Absolutely. I have no problem with that at all. I'm just happy to be a part of it, because I was a big James Bond fan, a Connery fan, and a huge Ian Fleming fan. So I was really excited and couldn't wait to start work. And I had already met Sean. I had dinner at his house when he was married to Diane, and my boyfriend Leslie Brickus was best friends with Sean, and we went over there and had a lovely dinner, and I got to know Sean, and so I was thrilled. I knew I would show up on the set, and I had one friend there, which is always nice, because it's a little unnerving to walk into new sets with a lot of people and not know a soul. You don't know what's going to happen. But it was fabulous. Loved it. The best.
Brilliant. Well, I'm going to ask a first question then, because I know what a great story this is, Caroline. And as I say, I've been lucky enough to hear it plenty of times. I never get tired of hearing it. So please tell us your story of your opening filming scene for The Spy Who Loved Me, and what actually was going on behind the camera.
literally. Yeah, well, Warren's going to be so bored of this, but no, it was my first. I was very, but very excited too. And my first scene, my first entrance scene, was to be on a speedboat, which was so exciting. So you had all this. We shot in Sardinia. We shot in at the Cala di Sardinia, and that was very exciting. Beautiful hotel, had all the speedboats and helicopters and you name it, they had it there. Plus Roger, of course, and Kurt and all the other wonderful people. So my first scene, Lewis Gilbert, who was our fantastic director, told me kind of what he wanted, the gist of it. This was to be my entrance to meet Roger and Barbara Bach, the beautiful Barbara Bach, who played his love interest in the film. And I was to ride in on this speedboat and take him to my master, who was Stromberg, played by Kurt Jurgens. So that was fine, okay. So got in this fantastic Riva speedboat, which is incredibly fast and very exciting. And I knew what I was going to do. I knew, kind of blocked it through. And anyway, we set out to sea quite a long way because it had to come in at speed. So we set out to sea, which we did. So we had the driver, and I think we had, and lying down kind of on the floor as they do, one of the first AD, or the first AD, who was lying on the back of the boat. And I was sitting on the boat to start off with. Anyway, so Lewis had said, so when I say action, obviously the boats, no, we say first action, which is the boat to start going. Second action, Caroline steps into frame, into shot, standing up in the boat. So I'm there and I'm excited and we're waiting for the sun to come out and blah, blah, all this stuff. And then I can hear something and I think, what is that? That's a funny noise. I'm kind of looking around me and thinking, well, that's strange. It's sort of a slight, I don't know, slight uneasy, sort of buzzy sounds. I think, oh, it must be the engine because it's a very powerful engine. Anyway, so he tells me to stand up in the boat, which I do. The boat has just started to move. And then he says, standing up as you coming in, and then you sit down. So, okay, he said, action. The boat started going. It was really going fast at this point. And I could still kind of hear this noise, but I was in my position. I was Naomi, this tough sort of hench person. Anyway, he said, okay, Caroline, the AD lying on the floor. So Caroline, he wants you to sit down. Okay, so I sat back on the boat, you know, very Naomi style, sat back, and to my extraordinary, I had this most, on my bottom, this most extraordinary feeling. I thought my bottom's on fire. I said, I didn't see anything because we could only kind of do this take once because of the sun and the sun. Anyway, that there I was sitting down with my bottom on fire. I thought, what do I do? I've got to get up and I've got to say lines. So then I could hear him, the first AD, saying, right, Caroline, I want you to stand up now, stand up in the boat. So I stood up, stood in the boat. I was on fire, my bottom. Anyway, so we got to the thing, we got to the landing. Roger was there, Barbara was there, Roger looking all beautiful, and Barbara. So I'm stepping off the boat and I'm looking, I look so bad. I look so naughty, evil. So my bottom was fire. So anyway, we went through the lines. What had happened basically, to cut it short, I'd sat on a bee, hadn't I? I had sat. Wow. This was my big moment, and I sat on a bee. Oh my.
That's the shot that was used in the film, wasn't it? You said.
Lewis said, "Oh, that was intense." I said, "Yes, Lewis. I just sat on a bee." And then the lady over.
Oh, that's not funny. What is funny?
Right. I said,
say that again. Say that again, Caroline, because he cut out then. Roger said, what did he say?
He said, seriously, my dear, would you like me to kiss it better?
Oh, that's my boy. That's my boy right there.
Actually, that's a pretty lucky bee.
Oh,
The bee lived.
I bet he did.
Yeah, well, I think that. Yeah, that's anyway.
So, gents, any of you got a question you want to ask?
Yes, I do have a question. I got actually one quick question for each of you, and then I've got a question for all of you at the end, but it's a little risque, so I'm gonna wait until the end of the show. Lana, I want to start with you.
Pass the water.
Yeah, exactly.
Good heavens.
Lana, I want to start with you. One of the things that I love most about Bond is fashion, and your casino dress is absolutely stunning, and you look stunning in it. Did you
Thank
have
you.
any? You're welcome. My pleasure. Did you work with the costume director? Did you have any say so in the dress? What were your thoughts on the dress?
It was Dawnfeld, and the dress was made for me, which was very flattering in itself. He just asked if he was very definite in what he felt Plenty should be wearing and what would look good on me. And he said, I want a purple or a dark color that still has something to it, not a flat black. I want a this, I want a that. I think she looked best with a V. And I just basically stood in the wardrobe room and said, that sounds wonderful. And when they began fitting it, it looked fabulous and very classy and but still sexy. So I was delighted. I really went with what Dawnfeld felt, because that was, his part. And I would not have shot him down unless, I don't know. I don't know what it could have been that I would have said no to, but I did not. He was right on the money, and I was thrilled with everything that he suggested.
Yeah, it looked fantastic on you. Did you get to keep it?
No, they don't.
I know. I had to ask.
I wish, because I could wear it to the premiere.
I know. That would be great. And quickly, Carolyn, I have to ask you, the greatest wink in cinematic history. Did you rehearse that wink?
Do you know what? We shot the main stuff in Sardinia, and then they suddenly realized they hadn't got any close-ups of me in the helicopter. I mean, they've got some with me flying the helicopter, of course, but they hadn't got any close-ups of my face. So they had to actually do that in Pinewood. And Lewis was busy doing the first unit. So we had second unit director, who was Ernest Day. He was fantastic. He said, we've got to he said, what do we do? So I was in the helicopter. He said, well, we'll just do a few things. Just do a few things. He said, just you do a few things and we'll see what happens. So I thought, okay, I'll do a few things. So I did a few things, and the wink was one of the things I did. I blew him a kiss, I waved, and I blew him I winked at him. That was it. It came to be.
Caroline, I've got to tell you something about your wink, actually, because we did obviously you do the show with Cuban Music, and we did a little advert about 18 months ago with you and Maddie were together at the same time, and I said, look, I've got to shoot a quick video on my phone of you guys just promoting the show, and you said something along the lines of, hi, I'm Caroline Munro, I played Naomi the bad girl, just quite lovely, come and see the show. And then at the end you did this wink, and I literally nearly dropped my phone with the absolute pure fan geek out that I had there. So yeah, that was a real thrill for me, and that really, a lot of the time, like, we become like really really good friends, but every now and again something like that happens and you think, holy cow, this is so cool. So
Go on, give us a wink, Caroline.
Give us a wink.
Let's see.
I want to give you a wink. There you go.
Next face.
Oh, hang on. I got one more quick question.
Hey, yes, you did it. There we go. Well, that's a round of applause for the
I
wink.
didn't see it.
Go on, one more. Can you do us one more? Okay. Give us one more.
Oh, there we are.
We're here.
Yeah. Wow.
That's for everyone watching.
That's great. And Trina, I got a quick question for you. It's a two-parter. One, what are your thoughts on Sean's little pink tie? and have you been back to the Elrod house since filming?
I could care less about his pink tie.
I just wanted to mention it because it's so ridiculous, that little pink tie. I mean, I don't know.
I was wondering why it was pink when I first saw it, but then that just went right out. So I said, whatever. Stay in your character.
Yeah. Have you been back to the Elrod house since you've been there?
Well, let's see. I actually, well, I was living in Palm Springs since '03. I don't know if you know, but I lived in Palm Springs. I was featured performer in the Palm Springs Follies for like 6 years. And I knew the first owner, might have been the first owner. I knew 2 owners while I was there. And I had been to the house many times with, different events and things that they had there. They had many, different barn events or special events that I was invited to. And I was there last year because I don't know, I never met, I haven't even spoken with the new owner. He's a designer. Do you know him?
Yes. I don't know him, but I'd like to know him.
Yeah, I would like to too, because like I said, I knew the last 2 owners. And he wasn't there. I went up to the Elrod house because I was doing something. I was performing in Vegas beforehand, and then I went to Palm Springs because I was asked to do a documentary with one of my dancers that I had in my dance company several years ago. So while I was there, I also went up to the house, and no one was there. I just wanted to introduce myself if he was there. Yeah. And so I wasn't able to meet him. I did see the guard at the gate, and I gave him my card, and he was very enthusiastic about meeting me. And I said, "Nice to meet you too. I've seen the movie." And, "Oh, that's you. Is it really you?" Yeah. And so that's yeah. But I've been to the house several times.
Cool.
Yeah.
We'll see if we can get you in with the new owner then.
Oh yeah, I'd love to. These two.
Oh no, I just want to say real quick before I stop hogging the mic, guys. I woke up this morning and I thought to myself, I get to talk to 3 Bond girls, and my face hurts from smiling. So I just wanted to say thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
You're so welcome.
Oh, that was. Oh, yes, absolutely. Good heavens.
Joe, what about you? Anything from you?
Yeah, well, my smile has been on my face all day long too, and I'm probably in trouble with my girlfriend right now. I'll be in the doghouse for a while, but that's okay.
Oh no.
But I will. I've been getting a lot of questions on my YouTube feed. A lot of Valentines and heart emojis with a lot of compliments, and a lot of people have been saying that they hope everybody's doing well and kind of surviving the COVID-19 okay. And I have a lot of really good questions. I got one for Trina from Dark Angel asking, what's it like to be the first woman of color to appear in a Bond film?
I actually didn't even know I was until after I saw the film, and people called me and said, "Did you know you were the first?" And I said, "No, the first time I'm seeing the movie." I didn't know that. I was performing, I just love, I went after I shot the film. I went back to New York, and I did a play called Her First Roman with Leslie Uggams and Richie Kiley. So I was just working, and it was not a big thing that, oh, I'm the first. Oh, really? Oh, really? Yeah, it was. I was very honored though to be that, and I have been since with many. Not only with my people, but with other, people of color, to be so, young people and older people too, to be, so enthused and to meet me and say, I'm so glad to see you up there. And as women, you were the first woman to beat up Sean Connery. And
No. They just mean in front of the camera.
What's that, Lana? and to be a black woman to beat up this white man, oh my goodness.
Great. You did it so well, Trina. It was formidable, and you looked great. You were fantastic, so much so. Really.
Did you say panther? Did you say panther then, Karen?
I did.
Yeah, I was watching the scene earlier on, and that's a great description. That's what I was thinking of as well.
Yes, I mean the moves.
Thank you.
It was very stylistic. It was beautiful, but very fluid too. It was beautiful. Yeah,
and I was
absolutely.
I mean, I thank of course, Sir Broccoli and Sir Hamilton, but Bob Simmons, he was so wonderful. He had no experience of dance, so he said, "Let me see what you can do. Let me see what how you can do this over here as dance." And so we went through different things. I just did everything, everything I could think of, with the character in mind. And then of course, Sir Broccoli came in and saw it, and that part where I do the stalking part on the floor, that was actually something that stayed in the movie that I had done.
One of the
it was terrific.
One of the questions coming in on my feed, I wasn't going to ask you, but I think I will now. I think it was from an Uwe, or I didn't see the surname. It's not the Uwe that we all know, a different Uwe. But he said about, it's a shame that you're so tough on land, but water got you so easily. Did you think looking back that maybe you could have gone out in a bit more badass way, considering your scene before that was so badass? It kind of all came to a bit of an abrupt end, I thought, in the pool.
Who?
Trina.
Yeah.
Did you hear me?
Oh, I'm sorry. Who are you talking?
Sorry, Trina. I was talking to you.
That's what I go through too, Trina.
The point was about you. Your character came to a bit of an abrupt end in the pool, and having kicked James Bond's butt on land. Do you think that maybe your character could have had a bit more of a meaty ending than being held underwater?
I would have liked it. Yes, I would have liked to put him under the But Bond has to win.
Yeah.
I just realized now that you said it. I just realized now that you said it, that Trina and Lana, both of their characters sort of met the end in the pool.
Yeah. I wasn't sure who we met, but yes, I knew, of course, that we would end up in the pool, not exactly what we would do, when we got there. And of course, I really didn't know I was going to be held down so long after the CIA people come and start talking to Sean, and we're still down underneath the water. I almost drowned under there. I didn't realize we were going to stay down there so long. I mean, that's a long time. About almost a minute. And so when you see when Sean brings us up, I mean, that's real. What? Hello, I went down here. Nowadays, they probably wouldn't have had us down there. They would have had, stunt women down there, and then we would have.
Oh yeah, would have been a lot different.
Yeah, because
absolutely.
But we did everything real. I mean, basically.
Yeah.
More so than they do now, and of course there was no digital stuff like that.
Nope.
Oh,
Trina, I was wondering, did you keep in touch with Bambi over the years?
No, I haven't. People have asked us for many times to do autograph signings, but I believe she's in the medical field, and I hadn't seen her until 2 years ago. Since then, we were invited to this in Bond event in San Francisco. So that's when we met.
Oh,
And,
wow, that's
yeah,
cool.
she brought her, her son and son-in-law, and her daughter was with her. Yeah, so it was really nice to see her. No one told her that I was going to be there, but I knew that she was going to be there.
Oh,
Oh
that's
my
So it
cool.
was
goodness.
really great. Yeah, to see her. Yeah, she looks good too. Yeah.
Have you
She,
got a? Sorry,
yeah.
Tom. Have you got a question, JBR? You want to ask at all?
Well, I've just seen a good one come up on the comments. Actually, it says, "Oh, hold on, it's just scrolled away. Where are we? Bear with me 1 second. Let me find it." This. Oh yeah, here we go. From Barry Murphy. He says, "Question for Caroline and Lana. Thank you for taking the time to be here this evening. Did you take inspiration from any other Bond villains or Bond girls for your portrayals of Naomi and Plenty?" Do you want to go first, Lana?
No, I did not. I actually was very concerned about the character because they said, well, you know, she's a shill, and I thought, oh boy, this is not anybody will ever want to bring home to mom. What can I do, you know, to soften the character? And I spoke in a higher voice because I didn't want her to come off as overtly, you know, bedroomy sounding. And I wanted to make her, I actually did a bit of Minnie Mouse and an actress by the name of Lee Taylor Young. Neither of which were ever in a Bond film, but that's what I based my voice and my reactions on. Oddly enough,
Minnie Mouse.
Yeah.
I would never have guessed that. That's one I'm going to think about next time I watch that film.
Minnie Mouse and Lee Taylor Young. Well, I just wanted her to be likable. I wanted her to come off as, you know, this is just what she does for a living, and there's nothing wrong with it. And she's not, you know, she's very comfortable with it. She's not, she's very genuine. I wanted her to be very genuine. So I gave it a shot. What can I tell you? As I've said before, if I had known at the time that this was going to follow me for the rest of my life, I would have tried harder.
Oh, you did a great job.
You did amazing.
Amazing job. That's a joke.
No, you were correct. You were fabulous.
Oh, no, she was,
Yeah.
well, she had an innocence. The thing was, you did it in a very genuine way. You did, and what I liked about it, that
Yes.
she had an innocence about it, even though she was knowing. She had that innocence, and I
Right.
know what.
Yes. Oh, thank you. I really needed that to come through. That's what I wanted. Thank you so much for seeing it.
You did.
Yeah.
What about you, Caroline? That question was for you as well, wasn't it?
Oh yeah. Oh golly. Well, no. Do you know what? I read it and I thought, well, it's short and sweet, the part, and I think because she's such a naughty girl that I think I will have fun with it, and I will have fun with Roger. So I kind of wanted to play with him. My character, unlike some of the others, did not want to sleep with Bond. She was after, just after him. Just, you know, she wanted to get the better of him. And so I sort of thought, I love some of the characters that have been before, you know, some of the female characters that have been before in the Bond films. But I thought mine is just going to have fun. She's going to be slightly mad, but quite fun. I didn't take inspiration from anybody particularly. I just thought that's what she's going to do. And I felt I bounced off Roger. I got on so well with Roger, and I had a nice bounce with him. So that was kind of good.
Caroline, didn't you have to choose between doing Naomi and doing the Superman movie, playing one of the roles in that? Wasn't it a straight choice, wasn't it?
It was. I left it up to my agent. I was offered the role of Ursa, who Sarah Douglas went on to play, and played her superbly. She was fantastic. She was so right for Ursa in Superman. And I mean, I would have done it differently, but I think she was perfect for the role. And my agent at the time said, I said, which one do you think? You know, how lucky am I? He said, do Bond. That we know about Bond. Superman, we don't know. And I feel very lucky that I did Bond. As I say, Sarah did an amazing Ursa. She was fantastic.
And so did
Sophia.
you.
Well,
You were fabulous and gorgeous at the same time.
So I picked up another good question here. This is from John Whitcomb, which is to all of you. And I'm just going to hang on, Cal. I'm just going to mute you just a second because it's echoing. If you did a different Bond, which Bond actor would you have preferred? Which other Bond actor would you have liked to have worked with if it wasn't with the one that? Start with you, Trina. And which other Bond actor?
Probably Roger. And I met Roger too. He's such a wonderful person, wonderful personality. So I think I would have liked to have worked with him.
Yeah.
Or okay, give me a minute. Next.
Lana, we'll come back to you, Trina. Lana, what about you?
Her Majesty's Secret Service.
Idris Elba. Idris Elba. I would have liked to have worked with Idris Elba.
Oh, Idris. Yeah, me
Why is
too.
that funny?
I think that would have been great.
Face just
Me too.
just blown up.
First black woman and the first black male. Oh yeah. Why not?
What about you, Caroline? Hang on, let me just let you go. What about you? If it wasn't, because you actually you knew George Lazenby as well, didn't you? I mean, you've often told me
George,
you went for a ride on his Harley, didn't you?
yes, I did. We did a commercial 100 years ago for a prize Turkish delight. We did that in Spain, and I got to know George quite well. And yes, one of my great thrills was once he got the Bond film, he came and he said, "Oh, you should go up for the, you should go." I said, "Oh, no, I have to be invited." And I was quite young at the time. And he said, "Well, you should go up for it." Anyway, I did. And he said, "Would you like to come for a ride on my Harley Davidson?" And I did. And we rode all around Hyde Park, and that was such a thrill for me. I loved it. Yeah, my mum, I think, was a little in love with him because he came and had tea with us. And she said, "I think he's the most handsome man I've ever seen, Caroline." I said, "Oh." I got on well with George. Yeah, I really did. But I think the man, if I was 50 years younger, I'd love to act alongside Daniel Craig. I mean, I just think he's great.
Yeah. I agree with you, Caroline.
So good. He was so he wasn't. Everybody said, "Oh, he's too short, he's too blonde, but he's fantastic. He has so much charisma, and he's so believable."
See, I think I've said this before, Karen. I think it's still possible. I think we could write it into the story that you jumped out the helicopter just before they exploded. Paving the way for you to return as the head of Spectre.
He's such a lady. Yeah, quite right. All the other girls have to come, though. The girls have to come. One's in it. All with the Three Musketeers, so we all have to do it.
I like that
That's
idea.
right.
Yeah,
Plenty can be a ghost.
I got a request from Tom Hallam. I'm asking the girls if you could shout out to his dad, Steve. He would go crazy.
Oh, one at a time, all together.
Steve, hi, Steve.
Hi,
It's
Steve.
plenty.
Things. Stay safe. Stay well.
Yes,
Cue
be happy.
Steve is
Cue
just
about
somewhere.
Cue about 586 shout-out requests. Tom, have you got any questions from your feed?
I was just looking at the. There's a question here from James Stafford, and he says, "Questions to all the ladies. What are your memories of attending the premieres, the Bond premieres?" So I'll go with Lana first. Why don't you go first?
I've only ever attended one Bond premiere, and it was not mine. It was oh dang, what was it? You only live once. No.
You live twice.
It was Pierce Brosnan.
Tomorrow Never Dies.
Yeah. That was it. And Oh, I was delighted, and I couldn't wait to go. But it was really a madhouse, and very, very busy, exciting, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. It was wonderful to sit there and to see it and see everybody that excited. I wish I'd gone to Diamonds Forever, but
why didn't you get to go to that? Was it you not free or
I'm,
not invited or what?
You know what? I have no earthly idea. I don't remember because I had gone right on to do another show, and then I don't know. I then got married, and I have no idea why I wasn't invited or contacted or what was going on. Except I know Jill St. John hated me, so that may have had something to do with it.
That means you were doing something right. Yeah.
Okay, I'll go with that.
Yeah, sure.
Trina, how about you? Did you get to go to the Diamonds premiere?
I believe, the one in Los Angeles. I believe it was at the Gromans, if I'm not mistaken. But that was the only one that I've done. Well, actually, I did go to the Skyfall here in Atlanta. The first one, the Skyfall or the next one with Daniel Craig. I think it's the second one. Yeah.
Very nice too. And what about you, Caroline? What was your memories of the Spy premiere?
I remember it as if it was yesterday. It was amazing because it was on 7/7/77. And
Wow.
in Leicester Square, and I remember I had to wear white gloves because I was being presented to Princess Anne. So we all lined up, and they said, "Do you know how to curtsy?" I said, "No, not really." So one of the ladies gave me a quick, to kind of had to shake hands with the white gloves. But I remember it was the most balmy, wonderful night because the weather was fabulous, and we went to the Playboy Club after, and Carly Simon sang. And then we went to the Berkeley Square Ball. It was the most amazing premiere ever. And I bought a nice, so just very plain. I wore flowers in my hair, and it was wonderful. I should never forget it.
That sounds like quite the night.
It was lovely.
So I've got a question from Mr. Dave Zaritsky, and he wants to know, outside of the ladies within the chat, have you really appreciated or enjoyed other Bond girls in the Bond franchise and ones? Let's start with you, Trina.
I didn't get that question. I didn't hear you very well.
Yeah, I couldn't hear it either.
What other Bond girls have you enjoyed from the Bond series? What other Bond girls, outside of the three of you, which other Bond girls in the series have you enjoyed and respected their work the most?
Eva Green.
Good choice.
Yeah, good choice.
I think she's absolutely phenomenal. Wonderful.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah. What about you, Caroline? Have you got one? Anyone in particular?
Don't know, because so many are friends of ours. This is the thing.
Yeah.
Got to be careful now.
Yeah.
Every one of them, every single one, and these lovely two. Everyone is unique. Everyone is strong. They all have their own personalities, and they're all amazing. I mean, I don't know. Do you mean character-wise? The character-wise? Do you mean
Whichever you like. Whichever you like.
Oh, golly, I don't know, because they're all written so well. I mean, obviously it's changed over the years. I mean, from Ursula coming out of being the first one, and Jason, the first Bond, they were extraordinary. We'd never seen anything like it. And then the girls kept coming, and they were all so gorgeous and strong and different. I mean, Honor Blackman, she was just extraordinary.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, so many. And Maddie, oh, lovely Maddie. Miss Caruso was just amazing, and there's so many team players. I mean, there's so many extraordinary girls out there. Val Leon,
That's true.
and they're good friends of ours. I liked the character. For me, yes, I would say Eva Green was an amazing character, and also I liked Sophie Moss, the French. I liked her character.
Tom's just a small fan.
You could hear Tom.
So,
Makes
isn't
me
it?
go a little weak at the knees to ask Sophie Marceau.
I thought she was amazing. Yeah. They just, and Michelle Yeoh too was another great character.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, yes.
But maybe one of the best ones, I would think, would be Judi Dench.
Yeah, you're right, Caroline. You're right.
Yeah, I agree.
She kind of, they broke the mold. Yeah.
Em was fabulous.
Yeah. Great.
I've got a question for Lana. Tim Hands asked, you had a lot of scenes that ended up on the cutting room floor. You have some pretty famous deleted scenes. What's your thought on possibly bringing those back, and maybe they should put out like a special edition with all those scenes put back in?
I wish they'd be put back in. There have been editions that have come out where it's an extra. It's you know, they've tagged them on, but it really would clarify Poor Plenty so much more if you knew, you know, how she got to the house, why she went to the house, what was she doing, you know, because so many people think that have actually said to me, oh, well, you know, she died when she was thrown out the window. I said, no, she didn't. She swam to the surface. She climbed out. She went back. She, you know, was wrapped in a towel. She was, so yeah, I wish. I was very, very disappointed when that happened, and a wee bit put off. That was an instant phone call. Why was that done? And of course, Guy and Tom were very, you know, apologetic and said it had nothing to do with the character, with the performance, with anything. It was a time issue and keeping the film rolling, you know, and unfortunately that's what went, which I understand, but it was heartbreaking. I got to tell you, it was heartbreaking.
Caroline, question for you that's come in from Phil Latchford. He wondered if you've ever met up with Barbara Brock and Ringo since filming.
Oh, for me?
Yeah.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did, actually, yes. At the, I had the pleasure to go to the Chelsea Flower Show in London. I was invited along there. And yes, I was chatting away and then I suddenly saw Barbara and she saw me. I haven't seen Barbara since the premieres and things. So she came over and she had her husband, she had Ringo there, and we had a chat. And I was asking her about her children. Her children are grown, and you know, but she looked so well. And then she introduced me to the husband, to Ringo, who I'd never met, and he was very sweet. Until a group of people came over, they'd spotted them. Obviously, they didn't know who I was. They'd spotted them and said, "Oh, Ringo, could we have a picture?" And then he said, "Barbara, come on, we're off." So they left. You know, he didn't want that. They were just there to look at the flowers and the garden. So yeah, but she was great. She's a very, very lovely woman. And she
I'll tell you what, though, anybody tuning into this call, it would have been the other way around. They'd have been straight past Ringo to you and Barbara asking the photos. Ringo wouldn't have got a look in. Just saw a good question come in from Craig Hayward. He said, question for all the ladies, did you take/steal any items of memorabilia from the set of the movie that you still have? Let's go with you, Trina. Did you steal anything, any trinkets?
Well, you know, we filmed in the Elrod house, you know, so no, I would not have taken anything from there.
That would have been a good place to steal from there.
Absolutely not. Plus, I knew the owner. But I did want my two-piece bathing suit, and for some reason, it had disappeared.
Interesting.
After I had, you know, of course, taken it off and was getting dressed and all that, and didn't see it around. So somebody has it.
Somewhere.
Somebody had some fun with it.
I would have liked to have taken that.
You know, sunbathing or something.
I took a cup of water from the pool, but it evaporated days later. I took a cup. I figured, what the heck? Not
You
good
see,
for anything.
Lana, you could have maybe sneaked something out of the casino. Maybe that would have been that you'd have had the prime opportunity for a chip or something.
Yeah, exactly.
I've got a question from Oliver Hodges. He asked for any of the ladies, do you have a favorite Bond villain? And he also asked, do you have a favorite Bond film apart from the one that you were in?
Ooh, good question. Who's going to go first? Caroline, do you want to go first?
Well, my Bond villain, my favorite, and not just because I loved him, adored him, and
I know
I
who
just
you're
think,
going to say.
you know who I'm going to say, don't you?
Yeah,
Richard.
we both did. Yeah.
Beautiful giant.
Yes.
He
Yes.
just, I did a whole European tour with Richard. We got on so well.
Yes.
He was the sweetest, most intelligent chap, and he was just beautiful. So it would have to be him for me. Film-wise, do you know what? I think I'd have to go with two. I'd go for the first one, Dr. No, and I'd go for Skyfall with the newer ones, I think. Yeah.
Nice, good
Very
choice.
nice.
I like these too.
That's funny. I'm very close to that, Caroline, because I would go with Dr. No and Casino Royale. I
Nice
just
one.
absolutely,
Nice.
the first time I saw Daniel Craig, I said, yes, that's James Bond. I was so thrilled. And there again, I had a personal relationship with Richard, so I would have to say him as well as my favorite villain. He's the most unvillainous person in the world. I mean, he was just such a lovely man, such a fabulous raconteur, just a sweetheart, just absolutely wonderful. So I would have to say him.
Right.
Only because I love him.
Yes, we all did. I would have to say ditto both of my Bond sisters on Richard, and my second favorite would be in my film, who Mr. Kidd and Mr. Wint. Mr. Wint. One reason is because, of course, Bruce was my teacher, my acting teacher before I did the film. And so I knew Bruce. I didn't know he was going to be in the film until I saw the film. That he was in it. And then I guess I would say I get my third. I like both Blofeld.
Nice.
Ooh.
Blofeld.
Yeah,
Good question.
Yes. How about your favorite film, Trina? Favorite film?
Oh yeah.
Oh, what? Let me think. Diamond. Oh no, you said
no, don't do that.
I like Dr. No.
Yeah.
I'm a vintage person. Dr. No or Goldfinger.
Yep.
Goldfinger.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good choices.
Well, I reckon we've got time for about 2 more questions. Has anyone got any that they?
I see one coming in from Gary Bootle. It says, question for all the ladies. They say Bond girls are forever. So do you ever think about the fact that your parts in the Bond films mean people across the world will be admiring you for generations to come? Let's start with you, Caroline.
Wow. I haven't really heard it like that, but that is an extraordinary thing, isn't it?
Yes,
I think, was it Mariam Darbo coined the expression "Bond girls are forever." I think that's one of her books. She had that. I suppose we will be there forever. Celluloid forever, as we know it. We will be there. Good or bad, we're there. Can't escape us. But what an honor! I mean, what an honor to be.
It is. Yes.
It's I mean, there are not too many ladies that have been in Bond, so I feel that we're very privileged. So I like that a lot. It's good.
It's a crazy thing, isn't it? All these years later, and there's geeks like us still watching the movies, still know every line, still know every frame. It's a crazy thing.
Well, thank you.
I'm so amazed. I'm so amazed when we do autograph signings all over the world. It's how young people and older people too, that their fathers or mothers were Bond fans, and now these young people that their children are Bond fans, and you
Yep.
know they like our characters, and it's amazing to me too, you know, that they remember my character, because I didn't. I mean, I was doing my job and I just had fun doing it, but I had not realized that it would last this long. You know, I had
Right.
no idea, and I'm so, as you mentioned, Caroline, it's an honor. It's quite an honor.
It is
to
an honor.
be
Yep.
among such a franchise, and all the Bond ladies that I've met. You know, Lana and I have been to London and met most of the Bond women. Just every single one of them are so wonderful. You know,
Yep.
as persons and as in their characters. So I think that we will be
That's so
remembered.
sweet, Trina.
I hope so.
Yes. Yeah. No, I had no idea. I feel like you do. I mean, you know, you get a script, and I was excited that I would be, you know, a part of it, but the reality did not dawn on me ever. I mean, I was doing another character. I was working another role, and like so many, you finish it, it's out, and it's gone. So I didn't really ever think about it following me
Right.
or any of that. But there again, you know, when people ask me, I'm so proud. I'm so thrilled that I was in 2 films that will last, and that's The Searchers, which I did in the beginning of my career, and then Diamonds Are Forever. And I am honored, and it means the world to me. Seriously, it really means everything.
You know what? And on that note, I think that's probably a wonderful place to kind of bring this to a close, because I don't want to impose on your time anymore. And I know I can speak for everybody watching and all 4 of us involved.
We have so much to do at home.
Hang on.
I just
We're
gave
so
you,
busy.
Trina, I just
Going
gave
from
you
one
a
home to the other.
Hang on a second. I got one final question.
Hey, I started another book.
I've got one
Go on,
final
Tom.
question. Okay, and I feel a little bit more comfortable asking this question after Caroline's Lazenby Harley story. As promised at the top of the show, the late, great Carrie Fisher wrote one final biography. And in that biography, she dropped a bomb on us, announcing that Princess Leia and Han Solo in real life had a little romantic encounter. If one of you, or all of you, perhaps, were to write such a book, would there be a chapter in that book about you and a Bond encounter?
Goodness
There
me,
would
John.
be many chapters in my book.
Hey!
Yes.
Lana, girl, actually, I am writing a book. I am writing a book, and but Sean and I, unfortunately, no, we didn't have any.
You better not have.
We were just friends with our
I
long
don't want to think you
career.
cheated on
Nothing
me.
intimate.
Caroline, I think
Caroline,
yours
you're being
begs-
awfully
begs-
quiet.
Begs the question.
Being awfully quiet over
George
there.
That's because he
Lazenby
wasn't-
came round to your house for dinner. Now,
He did. Yeah, my mum said, oh, yes. No, he was my friend. I liked riding on his Holly. Let's just leave it at that. It was good.
Yes. Right.
No,
Fair
I
enough.
love seeing him when we go to shows. No, he's very much a ladies' man.
oh goodness
you know,
me, yeah.
I mean, really a ladies' man. And yes, I think, you know, we could have gone up and stuff, but no.
Caroline, he was even having a little sly word or two with Kerry in the changing rooms last year in Pitch Gloria.
Really?
Yeah, well, just a little bit of flirting. It was all
I think so.
harmless fun. But he still got it. I think we can all attest to that. When we,
That's funny. Oh yes, she would be his type, I think. Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. I'm having Stein hard with George. Yes.
Yeah. Well, look, guys.
And he's underestimated as an actor. I think he's actually really good in On Her Majesty's.
Mm.
Oh yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, big time.
Really good.
Lana, can I get a signed copy of your tell-all when it comes out?
Absolutely.
Lana,
Absolutely.
thank you so much for joining us. Trina, Caroline.
Thank you. Thank
Really,
you.
really
I love
amazing.
visiting with my friends.
Yeah.
Love you all so much. I really do.
And just to,
I hope to see you all in person. In
Too,
the end of the
too.
year when we
November. Let's
Yes,
hope for November.
yeah,
Just-
it
just
will
to
be
shout-
supposed to go to England, yes. Hopefully.
just a
November
shout out to anybody watching that the three of you have very kindly done this. You know, just giving up your time, and what we wanted to ask is for anybody watching if they would very kindly donate to the NHS charities, no matter how small it is, just as a little thank you to the three of you for giving your time tonight. You know, it's a difficult time and for everybody in the world, and if we can do a little bit to support those worthwhile causes, that would be really appreciated.
Can you please tell me what
Everything counts.
NHS, what are they?
That's
What are the
that's the UK, the National Health Service. The carers here. That I know you probably
Yes.
got the same over there. But
Oh, okay.
we did it for our carers over here that are still
Right.
obviously
Oh.
treating all the patients. So yeah,
Yeah,
good cause.
right. Yeah.
Yes. Please,
Wonderful.
little bit help. Don't
Yeah.
think that they don't.
Sorry,
Every little
Karen.
bit helps.
How
Caroline,
would we do
just
that?
say that again.
How,
Caroline.
how would we do that?
The links in the description. So both on the Cue the Music page, and it should be on the Being James Bond YouTube one as well. The links there, so anyone watching can click that and go and donate.
It'll be an amazing thing.
Lovely.
But we will clap for them forever because they are extraordinary. Clap for them on Thursday.
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah.
Definitely.
All I love you and thank you for calling in and stuff. It's been great. I've had such
It's
fun.
been wonderful.
Yeah.
So good to see you,
Thank you.
Caroline.
It's been so
Goodbye, guys. Goodbye, girls. I love
Thanks,
you guys.
Caroline.
Take
Bye,
care.
Trina.
Love you all bunches. Stay in touch.
Yes.
You know who I'm talking
Hear
to.
you.
Mm. Cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks a lot.
Be
Okay.
well.
Guys, thank you
Bye.
so much.
So, gents, we're going to stop by for a second, and I think we're going to have a guest coming in a second to join us for Saturday. Just let me make sure the Bond girls aren't stuck in here. I think they've gone. Well, that was fun, wasn't it?
Mate, what a
Yeah.
lovely way to spend a Wednesday.